Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to present to you some information. Before I present this particular brand of information, I would like you guys to keep in mind the different possibilities that could result in its reality as I present it to you, the different implications that it holds, and do not approach this with a naive mindset, which many Americans have a tendency to do because they have not yet stepped out into the real world until the real world steps out in front of them and smacks their asses smacks them in the face. I present to you now a lesser talked about source of information. This is a lesser talked about newsreel and a bit of information about Mr. Barack Obama's impending impeachment, which is at this point in time very realistic.
They hate this fellow, but they certainly have placed the charges, and I don't think that without the equivalent of some kind of coup d'etat in support of the president, that he can withstand this. If these charges are presented and concluded, and if the consequences follow, this man is probably on the way out of office, barely since the time he was reinstalled in it. So that's probably a double whammy in this case. But what this does show with conclusion, which I can speak to on that account, is that after these charges have been placed and reported by the federal court, that this president is in deep trouble. And that much
You, I, and everybody else know for damn sure that Mr. Barack Obama is responsible for many war crimes and acts of treason that surpass the acts or corrupt acts taken by any president. Sorry about that. By any president before him. Mr. Barack Obama is entirely responsible for treason, and according to Congress would agree. The legal actions have been taken and put into place that Mr. Barack Obama will be impeached by the end. Well, of course, will be is a very broad, it's very presumptuous, I might add. With the recent events that have transpired, major terror attacks, supposedly in the works, a terror threat, has, according to the DHS, been issued on a worldwide scale. Many embassies have been closed off around the world, especially in the Middle East and northern part of Africa. So, what's interesting is how this information is revealed to me just about around the same time, and seems to be taking place around the same time as well. It's almost as if to say that these terror attacks, these supposed terror attacks, will take place to strengthen Obama's very weak position, in the same way that Mr. George Bush's position was weakened and then strengthened by popular demand after the 9/11 attacks. Nobody wanted George Bush in office. I remember here in the state of Maine, we're a relatively democratic state. There's a lot of Republicans here, but nobody wanted George Bush in office. Children my age at the time, and I was 6, 7, 8 years old, most of their parents would say the same thing. Bush is not a very good guy to have in office. And so the same thing can be said about Barack Obama. And what I'm seeing now is a legitimate action. Legitimate in the sense of legal action being taken against the president, and has been being taken against the president for some time. But now on a more political level, legal action taken by Congress, and Obama is attempting to declare Congress more of a ceremonial branch of our government, which it is in fact not a ceremonial branch of our government. But to declare Congress as such a, whether it be the word de facto or just useless part of our government, when it is Congress that is attempting to place charges of treason to impeach the United States President Barack Obama, says a lot about what is going on. The only reason the primary reason why I believe this attempt to impeach Barack Obama will be ineffective is the fact that this is much bigger than Congress. This is much bigger than the House of Representatives. This is much bigger than our de facto government. Our government does not exist. Our government is a puppet state. It's a TV show. It's something you flip on and are entertained by, and very much so to the point I am entertained by it. I am very entertained by our government. At the same time, it's a horror movie. It's entertaining to watch, but in the end you find yourself scared. I'm not scared, of course. That is not the point. It's a metaphor, my friends. The media is on the side of the president. They are neither left nor right, they are corporatist. And the corporations are on the side of the president. So by all means, folks, if Barack Obama is impeached, which according to what I'm reading and seeing here, this is not the only video. This is not a hoax. This is not a conspiracy theory. Well, actually, by definition, it is not a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories are a good thing. But what is bad for Mr. Barack Obama is that according to what I am reading, Barack Obama will be impeached 6 months, 12 months, maybe even 18. Year and a half is what I'm saying. The problem is that, and Republicans talk about this, libertarians will talk about this, and people who think for themselves, what we refer to as objectivists, will think about this, and they tell you, it doesn't matter if Obama's impeached. Obama is just a puppet. To cut the ties, the puppet attached these strings to the corporations, they need nothing more than to cut them off and tie on a new dummy. Because the truth is, nothing is going to change. They will bring someone in who is much worse and much more corporatist or statist or socialist. They might even bring up a legitimate fascist. We say that Obama is Richard Nixon all over again. I laugh because it's not Richard Nixon all over again. Of course it's not. It's much worse. Richard Nixon was not supported. Well, he was and he wasn't. I wasn't born in the 70s. I don't know enough about Nixon to speak on this. But I do know that what Obama is doing goes far beyond a couple people's houses broken into and a few people in Congress being wiretapped and an incident with Jackie Gleason. Decided to show the poor bastard some aliens. Dude started drinking again, realizing, holy shit, the shit I've been reading about all these years is real. And the President of the United States just showed me now. It surpasses any of that. But Obama is impeached. If his administration is impeached, now that's something y'all have to think about. Is it Obama that is being impeached or his administration? If Obama and Joe Biden are impeached, no, if Obama's impeached, perhaps Joe Biden will take over. If his administration is impeached, who will take over? Richard Nixon was surely impeached. Perhaps I'll have to do a bit more research into Richard Nixon's case. The Watergate scandal never really fascinated me. I left it at that. Well, corrupt politicians. What's new? Gone. I will do a bit more research into the case, into the Richard Nixon Watergate scandal, but the point still stands that nothing's going to change. In fact, things will change for the worse at that. People like me, not me specifically, but people like me will think that because Mr. Obama was impeached that there is hope for change. That we hoped and changed, or thought that Mr. Obama would do both. Obama is to be impeached, and our egos will rise, people will be happy, and our guard will be let down. And once our guard is let down, we'll make our guard being let down will make room for someone much worse and much more corporatist. So keep your eyes on this information. Do your research, folks. I know I've just come across this information myself. It is very important that you keep an open mind about the situation. Don't ever jump to a conclusion. And think more bigger picture, because this is very interesting. Anyway, peace. This is We Are Change Maine, signing out.